We have seen it time and time again in the media, or we've experienced it firsthand, or we know someone who has. The toxic love affair is like seeing the red flags and thinking it's Six Flags. It's something easy to fall into and very difficult to escape. Society's obsession with toxic love is so prominent in today's world that it's almost a norm, and some even make it couples goals. It's instinct to stay away from things that are bad for us,
Hate you. Well, you know what? I hate your ass too. Do something.
but when it comes to love, for some, it can be the opposite. The definition of toxic is poisonous or very harmful in a pervasive or insidious way. So some can be in a toxic relationship and not even realize it's toxic until it's too late. Let's just keep it real. Some of us grew up in dysfunctional households, and some people wouldn't know what a healthy relationship was even if it came and smacked them in the face. Healthy relationships exist in the media and on TV, but they don't get as much shine as they should, and people with the most unhealthy relationships get nominated as couples goals. The portrayal of toxic relationships isn't a new thing, and the one that sticks out for me the most is the portrayal of Ike and Tina in the 1984 movie What's Love Got to Do with It. I remember watching that movie as a kid, and there's certain scenes that will stick with me forever, seeing how Ike Turner treated Tina. It was horrifying and inspiring all at once because she actually gathered the strength to leave Ike by the end of the movie. Tina Turner was discovered by Ike one night while singing in a nightclub, and from that moment on, he basically took ownership of her. For 16 years, Tina endured physical and sexual abuse from Ike, and behind all of the success Tina created for herself and the people around her, she went through a lot of trauma and suffering. Everyone thought that Ike and Tina were a dynamic duo until Tina found the courage to tell her story. To this day, people quote What's Love Got to Do with It. And when we know a couple that's toxic, we might jokingly coin them Ike and Tina. And in a way, we glorify the toxicity of their relationship, when in reality, it was nothing to glorify. Toxic relationships come in many forms. Mental abuse is real, and so are unhealthy attachments and codependence. Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown's whole relationship was based on dependence on each other, and a dependence on drugs. To the people on the outside looking in, it was the typical good girl falling for the bad guy story. No one could understand why Whitney Houston ended up with Bobby Brown, who seemingly had a public troubled past. They had a lot more in common than people realized because they both struggled with drug addiction. Even though everyone thought that Bobby introduced her to drugs, Whitney's older brother actually did, and this was something that Whitney battled with way earlier in her life. The two found each other, and it instantly became a us against the world relationship.
Leslie, let me get that mic. Let us do this ourselves. Check it out, yo.
You just talk.
Matt, just talk.
So can you tell me what tonight's all about and why everyone's here?
Well, everyone's here. Isn't it obvious?
Well,
It's
it
my
is, but
birthday, dog. Check it out. It's my birthday. My wife gave me a party, right?
Yeah.
And we just chilling, right? Yo, MTV.
How much planning and plotting did you do to get this party pulled off?
They enabled each other the way no one else did because they both shared the same vices and they understood one another. Unfortunately, this led to the downfall of their relationship. Their love was tumultuous and drug fueled, and it didn't help that they were constantly being put under a microscope because of the fame. There were always rumors and headlines about Whitney and Bobby's drug use and rocky relationship. The dysfunction of their relationship was truly confirmed when Bravo gave Bobby Brown a show called Being Bobby Brown, showcasing his life and marriage to Whitney Houston. The show showed the real life of Bobby and Whitney, and it wasn't all glitz and glam like everyone thought. The show was a train wreck, and even though it was some hilarious, unforgettable moments from that show, it was very exploitative, and it showed Whitney and Bobby in a negative light.
Go, go to get my glasses.
Before you go, do you like these on me? I think these are tight, but they get down.
They work for me. They work for me. They work.
It was obvious to everyone that they were still in their addictions, and it was sometimes hard to watch. Another aspect of their relationship was the obvious differences in career. Even though they were both in entertainment, Whitney Houston was a superstar, The Voice, and Bobby Brown came from New Edition, and his career was essentially failing while Whitney's was thriving. Bobby held jealousy and resentment being married to Whitney Houston because he went from being Bobby Brown to Whitney Houston's husband, and he seen that he was no longer relevant the way Whitney was, and that caused friction in their relationship.
We fought hard, we loved hard. And I think at some point in time, other things began to take place.
Was he jealous of you?
He's not gonna like this, but yes.
Bobby and Whitney's relationship was in a sense like their drug use. They had very extreme highs and the lows were hell. And once again, people idolized their relationship because they seen the passion that Whitney and Bobby had for each other. But of course, there's another side to that, and it was abuse, infidelity, and toxicity, and the drugs magnified it times 10. Bobby and Whitney ended up getting divorced, but by that time, the damage was already done, and Whitney never fully recovered. And she sadly died because of her addiction. Bobby Brown and Whitney brought out the worst in each other. And if Whitney never married Bobby, I'm sure her story would have went a different way. But it ended tragically instead, not just for her, but for her daughter as well. The toxic relationships that people glorified back in the day are completely different compared to the ones we have now. People actually get reality shows for being toxic now, like it's something to be celebrated. We don't have the Ike and Tinas and Bobby and Whitneys anymore. Now it's the Stevie J and Joselines and Bluefaces and Chriseans, and social media to help broadcast it. Reality TV changed the game for couples, and now any problem that a reality star has in their relationship, the world gets to see it. And that's exactly how Stevie J and Joseline came about. Love and Hip Hop is a reality show based around people in the music industry navigating the industry and their complicated love relationships. We were introduced to Stevie J and Mimi, who were a couple with the child, and Joseline, Stevie J's so-called artist that he was also smashing. Their storyline took center stage out of all of the Love and Hip Hop castmates because it was drama-filled and a trashy guilty pleasure that people wanted to see unfold.
What?
I send you back to the strip club.
You send yourself back to go pimping, bitch. Don't play with me. Why you?
And we got to see the love triangle between Mimi, Stevie J, and Joseline until Mimi came to her senses and hopped off of Stevie J's bus.
It's my bus. Get with the program, or I'm gonna have to leave you in the desert.
Joseline and Stevie J's relationship was a complicated one, and it was obvious that it was a power dynamic going on. Stevie J felt like he made Joseline, and whenever Joseline did something that he didn't like, he would threaten her, telling her that he would send her back to the strip club. The relationship was messy and degrading, but somehow people still tuned into the mess because it was very entertaining. They both had drug problems allegedly, and at one point, it was Joseline and Stevie versus the whole cast of Love and Hip Hop. Then it became Joseline versus Stevie J. They fought, made up again, and even pretended to be married. Stevie J and Joseline became the it couple of VH1, and people really loved the weird, messy dynamic that they shared, even though it was highly toxic, and because of this, they benefited off of it. Joseline tried making music, and Stevie J was being Stevie J. They landed their own spin-off show on VH1 called Stevie and Joseline Go Hollywood, and they made the most of it while it lasted. But by the end of their relationship, the drama was at an all-time high, and Joseline ended up pregnant and they weren't even together at that time. She ended up having her child, and now she's in the same boat that she helped put Mimi in. And Stevie J ended up getting married to Faith Evans. Stevie J never respected Joseline, and Joseline was using Stevie J for a come-up, so the relationship was destined to fail. But as long as they got a check and some clout, I guess it's all good. Stevie J and Joseline are the blueprint for toxic relationships on reality TV. Maybe they didn't do it first, but they did it the best. If you call embarrassing yourself on TV for a check the best and showing bad examples of relationships, then yeah, they did that. Fast forward to now, and toxic relationships are becoming a norm. On social media, people are glorifying relationships, making them couples goals. And kids are impressionable, I get that. But I have a serious problem with grown, big age adults who act like Chrisean and Blueface's relationship is couples goals. It's people like that who will idolize them, but then clown Russell Wilson because he actually loves his wife the right way without the problematic BS attached. Chrisean and Blueface now have a reality show on Zeus, and I can't say I'm surprised because Zeus gives the most problematic people platforms to do more problematic shit. Blueface and Chrisean's relationship is the classic toxic relationship. Two misguided people with unfortunate past, mommy and daddy issues found each other, then you add social media, clout, alcohol, and drugs, and it becomes a match made in hell. Honestly don't know who's worse in the relationship because they are both equally effed up. Chrisean's weird obsession with Blueface, mixed with Blueface's complete disregard for her, it's a fatal attraction, and I can guarantee that it's not gonna end well.
It's crying.
No, but can you listen to me?
Listening, but why you gotta cry?
I'm glad I met you.
Alright. Me too, but why are you crying?
You're so special. And it's so beautiful. What do you mean?
Okay. Tears?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? I can't be happy with tears of joy.
Yeah, you can, but that crying, you know. Bro, look, that don't look joyful right there. That looks sad as shit.
Because I love you, bro.
Alright.
What?
Why are you crying though? Like, why is tears coming from
I
that?
don't know why they come out, babe. They just come out because of how great you are.
Alright, thanks.
I first caught wind of Chrisean scrolling through the shade room, and everyone was talking about this girl with the missing tooth and Blueface officially becoming a couple. And from that point on, it's been a Chrisean and Blueface rabbit hole. Between the social media antics and baby mama drama, it's so messy. Chrisean has done everything to prove her so-called love for Blueface, like getting his name and face tattooed multiple places on her body, and she even went as far as getting his face on her new tooth. Watching their relationship unfold on social media has been embarrassing, to say the least. And I just want to shake her and say,
Stand up! Stand up!
Chrisean is serious about Blueface, and it's low-key scary and high-key sad. Because once upon a time, Chrisean was actually a locally known track star full of potential heading in the right direction. But somewhere, something went left, and she ended up on a bootleg bad girls club with a missing tooth and in the arms of an offbeat rapper with bad music. Chrisean's lack of guidance and rocky foundation landed her in a situation that from the outside looking in looks complicated. So I can only imagine what it's like living through it. But she's not a victim. She's a glutton for punishment. Yeah, I said it, and I'm not trying to undermine what she went through growing up because apparently she has a rough past and she didn't have a stable upbringing. But you can't blame your past forever. Chrisean was on her way to breaking the cycle because she actually has a talent, but clout is a hell of a drug, and she ended up throwing it all away to be embarrassed by a man who, quite frankly, doesn't deserve her. And the gag is, she doesn't need him, he needs her, because she has totally revived his failing career. Blueface knows exactly what he's doing, and it's disgusting. He constantly shows Chrisean in so many ways he doesn't respect and truly love her, especially when he puts her on blast at her most vulnerable moments, like when she's drunk or upset. Because I swear I only ever see Chrisean when she's snot crying or fighting.
I'm mad about that.
What you crying for then?
It's what your heart want to do.
What my heart want to do? So why the fuck are you crying?
What? I know, bro. You alright, dude? Bro, that's not good.
When you love someone, you don't do that. You try to save them from embarrassment. But he has no problem exploiting her while she's in her worst mental states. Blueface actually told Chrisean he would pay her $100,000 if she left him alone. He aired her out in front of everybody on live talking about their relationship problems. It's obvious that he's with her for a good time and not a long time. And Chrisean is so blinded by love, she just won't let him go. And maybe to an extent, she feels like she needs him because he's the only one that's been there for her in his weird way. Which is sad. Where are the people that really love Chrisean to tell her this isn't a good look? She needs real friends and a good therapist ASAP. Their relationship is really twisted. They take the cake when it comes to toxic because it's not just them involved in the messiness. Parents are involved too. The most recent drama that popped on my feed about them was a video of Blueface fighting Chrisean's dad. And before that, a video went viral of Chrisean beating up Blueface's sister, and she also fought his mother. To me, that's next level. I don't care who you are. If you put your hands on my mom or anyone that's close to me, that's the fast way to the hospital and the end of the relationship. The people of today are a different breed, and now all of their bad behavior is getting rewarded because they now have their own TV show. They were recently all over the blogs because they were fighting in the middle of the street. Then a few days later, they were on TMZ promising that they weren't going to fight anymore. They are so toxic, they don't even know what's going on in the relationship. It's a train wreck. And I actually like Chrisean, and I hope that she snaps out of it because she's worth way more than she's settling for. And one day she's going to wake up and look back on this and feel real stupid. She's going to see herself the way everyone else does. She looks crazy. I only see things ending up bad between them when and not if they break up. All of these relationships are cautionary tales of what not to do. Don't ignore the red flags in any relationship. Well-being, peace of mind, self-love are worth more than anything and shouldn't be compromised for anyone or anything. And also, no one's relationship should be gold on social media because we never know what's going on behind the scenes. Be your own goals, create your own healthy relationships around you, and definitely don't glorify Blueface and Chrisean. I want to send a shout out to the channel Books and Looks TV and my girl Ashley. She helped me create the concept for this video, and she's another content creator, and she does deep dives on different issues like colorism, fat phobia, and much more in television and film. Her channel is a vibe. But anyway, if y'all enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.